All right, guys, video number 2 in the build. A lot has happened since then. It's been a crazy few days. I didn't set up and record anything. Apologies for that, but I'm back now to update you on everything that has happened with the trailer. A guy came by and took a look at the truck bed and he loved it. It worked out the best for both of us. So he threw it on, strapped it down, and off he went. Yay for both of us. He got a truck bed. I avoided paying the dump fee with all of that weight. So once he took it, I was able to determine the direction I wanted to take the project, which I ultimately decided was a flatbed trailer with removable walls and a headache rack up front with a tool mount and a fixed tailgate. And so what that would look like is something like this, as my detailed drawing on my very expensive piece of paper will tell you. If this is our lawnmower and toolbox here, this is the headache rack that I was talking about. And the headache rack, if we're looking at it from the back or the front, this is the lawnmower, this is the toolbox, the headache rack comes up across the entire distance and then back down. And that is so that I can add mounts for my shovels, pickaxes, and rakes and whatnot. Unfortunately, this distance isn't enough to accommodate all my tools. It's actually only 5 foot. So what I had to do was figure out some extra spots for a couple different things. And ultimately what I decided to do is build these sort of quarter rails here that will only come out about a quarter of the distance. And that will give me room to mount a couple more things on the side. The tailgate itself will have these 2 pillars that come up off the back of the trailer, and I haven't decided how it is going to open, but it will be a fixed tailgate so that nothing falls out of the back. And like I said, these sidewalls here will be able to detach and come off so that you can just throw stuff off of the side. So I actually went to the metal yard and found a piece of square tubing, well, a bunch of square tubing, and it was welded into a gate shape. And I said, you know what, I'll just take that and reuse that. And so unfortunately I already cut it and used it, but this is the next best thing, another very detailed drawing. So this is what it looked like when I picked it up. It was a long rectangular shape, and I took it and cut it in half, hamburger, and I took that top half and I flipped it sideways like this, and that is what I used for the headache rack on the top. So this piece here is actually this top half of this square turned on its side. Then I took the bottom half and cut it hot dog and used those 2 halves to make these quarter rails that I was talking about. So the shovels will sit here, and then there'll be a couple more that can fit on the side. I have one of them on and welded up pretty decently. I need to finish these side welds here, and on the other sides, and this weld all the way around. This is where I ran out of flux, so I need to go pick up some more, as well as some cut-off discs and grinding wheels, and then we will move on to that side as well. As far as mounting points for the running planks or floorboards, they're going to be 2x6. It's going to be roughly 9 of them, and the front of the lip will sit here up against this lip, and then it will sit across this support, that support, that support, and then the back. But these are those quarter panels I was talking about, so I can mount some tools there, and then all along this spot here, and then this side as well when I build it. And then the detachable walls will be the rest of that distance back, and you'll just be able to take them off and push everything off the side. Well, apparently I can't speak English very well, and I have messed up what I'm supposed to say a million times making this video, and because of that, I had a million videos in my gallery and I wanted to go back and make some room, and in the process of deleting some junk videos, I accidentally deleted the video that is supposed to go here. So what I went ahead and did was trim down the corner panel and took a grinder to all the areas that were going to be welded, so to the trailer at the 3 points. And then I also did these joints because I believe in an earlier part of the video I talked about these joints not being welded on the outside, so I went ahead and took care of that as well. And then I welded everything up, and here's a video of that. All right guys, we're here at the scrap / recycling yard, and we are currently searching for some square tubing. We are looking for something thicker than 1 inch, probably something that sits between 1.5 and 2 inches. Well, we are running out of space to search, and I haven't really found any good options. So we are going to actually turn around and come back the direction we came from to just double check and make sure that we didn't walk over any good pieces. Back from the junkyard, and I was able to find these pieces here that I'm going to recycle and use for the tailgate posts. I wanted something thick enough that it won't vibrate, so I believe these will do the job. This is a really thick piece of angle iron with a bracket welded at the bottom that I'm going to keep on there. I'm going to fix those welds and then reuse it. And then this is a piece of, I believe it's called channel. And what I'm going to do is trim those down to 26 inches and weld one there and one there on that side, and that will serve as the post. These guys are super thick, so I'm going to bust down the big guy that I haven't had to use at all yet this job. There's a reason why I haven't busted it out. It's because it takes forever to get down off the shelf. So let me get that down and trim these guys up so we can weld them into place. This one's going to be a little bit more work. We have 4 tongues to cut off, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we need to take this surface and grind it down so that it will sit flush. And then after that, we can go ahead and make the final cut to shorten it to 26 inches. It has been probably in between 12 and 13 hours since I started working on this trailer now. So I am going to go inside and clear my head for a little while and call it quits for the evening. But before I do that, I wanted to update you guys on everything that I got done and the last few pieces of fabrication we still have. As far as the head rack itself goes, it's done, as well as the quarter panels, but I need to determine what type of tubing I'm going to use for the sleeves that the shovels and other tools will sit in. Back here, as far as the tailgate mounts go, I finished the posts, got them all welded up and everything, and what I'm going to do is have the hinges mount to this side, and I'm going to weld them in place, and then I'm going to pick up the gate tomorrow. The tailgate is going to be a pull gate that I have laying around at a relative's house. I'm just going to shorten it and repurpose it for this tailgate. And then as far as the latching mechanism on this side, there is this backstop here for the gate to shut against, and then I'm going to cut a U shape out of this lip here and then weld a finger onto the end of the gate that closes with it, and when it shuts it'll be like a regular gate latch. Then I plan on coming in and capping off these little holes here and here just to make things a little bit neater. And then I want to cap off this with a couple triangles. And then from there, I will probably fill these last few holes just so that when I mount the floorboards in, it'll be super easy and I won't have to worry about any of these holes getting in my way. Trimmed it all up, re-welded all of the joints, and then threw it on a set of hinges, and now it looks pretty decent, I think. I also finished the latch mechanism, so I wanted to show you guys that right now. So I'll show you how it works one time. You pull up on this latch and then out comes the gate. You do your business. Whenever you're done, same thing, up and in, and then this is the range of motion. And what I did to make that latch is I took a piece of sheet metal and I cut it out into the shape of a latch, and then I drilled a hole through that as well as the post, and then I fed a bolt through a washer and then through the two holes, and then through another washer and a nut on the back side, and then I tightened it to the correct level of tightness and tension, and then I welded this head so that it won't loosen over time. And then I came directly off the latch level and I welded a bolt to that for the latch pin, and then up here I welded a sort of tongue off of the frame at a 45-degree angle, and then I welded a nut and bolt off of this as well, and that's what sits inside this spring. And then I did the same thing on the top of this latch. I put another bolt through it this direction, so the two bolts point towards each other, and then I slipped a spring on and took a pair of vice grips and squished it down and slid it onto the other side. Okay guys, I finished the tool rack finally, and this is what the orientation looks like. So I have my tamper, scoop shovel, spade head, then my hoe, my push broom, my wide plastic rake, my steel tooth rake, and then my square head. And then on this side I have my sledgehammer and my pickaxe. And as you can see, I think it turned out very nice. We're super close to being done. We're just about done with all of the metal work now. I just want to cap off some of these tubes and tidy them up, and then that spot and this spot we're going to get a couple triangle caps, and then from there I need to cut down some of this sleeve here, and I'm going to weld it to the frame here, here, and on the opposite sides as well, with a vertical orientation so that the vertical supports for the detachable walls can slide in and out of it like a sleeve. So I got the sleeves for the sidewalls trimmed up and 3 of the 4 of them welded, but I ran out of flux, so we'll have to finish the last one tomorrow. I'm not super worried about it. I'm really happy with the way that they're turning out. And so if this right here is the support for our wall, it'll slide in directly like that, and then there'll be one to match in that front one. And then the 2x6 walls will actually be fastened on the inside, and they will run parallel on top of this plank here. Final video for part number 2, and I got the last one welded on. I went and picked up the flux. I had a side job welding up a buddy's exhaust, so we got that on after I got that side job done, and I made a decision with the floorboards. It was gonna cost me $150 to do wooden floors, and they would get scraped up and need to be replaced. And I found a really good deal on these recycled bleacher tops. They're made of aluminum, damn near indestructible, and I got them for $5.50 a square foot, which means for these 2 planks, it was about $100. I do need to go buy 4 more. So total, I'll be in it about $300, but it's $300 and they'll last pretty much a lifetime. The guy even gave me some hardware to bolt them down, so I'm going to do that when I get a chance. Unfortunately, I have a pretty crazy week this week, so you guys will most likely just be coming along with me to job sites to kind of see what it is that I do, and then we'll get back to the trailer as soon as we get a chance.